What is up, everybody? Happy Monday if you are listening to us on Monday. And if not, I guess thanks for finally tuning in. This has been really great so far.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like we're getting a lot of great feedback. A
lot of questions coming
dedicating every week, just your questions.
Yeah.
Really diving into the nitty-gritty of relationships and life and dating.
So complicated.
I really appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. And it's really helpful. People have been doing this a lot. And for those of you listening, if you appreciate this show and you want to see it grow, when you guys screenshot the little the Viall files thing and then you put in your Instagram story and tag us, we love that. But it gets people listening. It spreads the word. And maybe we'll share it on our social.
We'll share it on our stories,
on our social. Just saying, you guys have been really great doing that. It really means a lot when you guys do that. So thank you. Also, I gotta say, people stop me on the street from time to time from Bachelor Nation. More and more since the show has come out, it's, I really love your podcast.
Really?
And you before it was always I loved you on the show or whatever, or I hated you. I don't know. It means a lot. So thanks for the people who have stopped me and said hi and complimented us on our show. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I gotta say I am disappointed in Bachelor Nation a little bit. Before I get into that though, Rochelle, I am addicted to Best Fiends though.
I'm addicted too. This is our new favorite.
I finally downloaded it.
Yes.
I just got started. It is addicting. I gotta say, I didn't think I'd appreciate the cute little characters.
Yeah.
As much as I do.
It's our new favorite game on our phones.
What level are you on now?
This is okay, everybody. This is a little embarrassing. I'm on level 260.
How many? I just started, so how? 260 levels.
I'm really good now.
Clearly, people, this can really entertain you.
What I love to do, so you have all these characters that have different powers, and they're very cute. But you get to this. You get to make them get more power, and I just want to see them grow and evolve.
Hey, we always want to see them grow. Right.
So I'm keeping up with this game.
Anyways, if you guys want to check it out, we highly recommend it.
Highly.
If you guys want to try Best Fiends, engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. It's a 5-star rated mobile game on the Apple App Store and Google Play. So download it for free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends. Fiends.
It's so fun.
Rochelle, Bachelor Nation, I know we talked about this a little bit last week, and I know I honestly just don't get this whole why people are spending so much time on this whole Demi and Kristian thing, and why they're spending any energy other than saying what a great thing this is.
Well, you're having Tanner.
I am having Tanner is going to be our wonderful guest on Monday. He has been outspoken about. On Wednesday,
yeah.
Thank you. He has been outspoken about he doesn't like what seems to be the inauthenticity, what some people are calling a staged relationship. Tanner and I are going to talk about a lot of things, most importantly fatherhood and how we met. It's going to be an absolutely awesome episode, so tune in. But we'll talk a little bit about this topic.
Yeah. Can I speak on behalf of Bachelor Nation? Wow, that was a really annoying statement.
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
I know, but I'm just saying I think people are upset, because we as viewers do invest a lot of time and energy in watching, and we get attached to these characters, and then I think people are more mad at the producers for bringing in someone.
You're mad at the producers?
Not mad, but we just There's a person who's not a part of Bachelor Nation who's brought on. There's obviously a story that was pre-planned before, and they're going to pretend to us this is just happening in the moment. We're not dumb. So
your frustration is assuming that this is pre-planned, that the producers think you're dumb?
And that they're pretending that it's not. Pretending it to be something that's not.
I truly don't understand why people can't focus on the bigger picture and what's more important, and why they have to be so righteous about a TV show. I don't understand that. And what's interesting is because I certainly know that you are a progressive person and open-minded. I know Tanner to be one of the most open-minded and accepting people I've ever met. So this is not about like either of you, the people who have, expressed this kind of counterpoint to be like, say, bigots or like, if you're
wow.
not. No, I'm just saying like some people are just, maybe bigot's a strong word, but if like, whether it's you are still kind of, you're not supporting gay relationships because you think your religion tells you one thing. I mean, I'm not getting into any of that, but like if for those people who are just anti-gay relationships, whatever, I can't. And there's the obvious like thought of like, well, maybe people deep down, they just don't really want to support it. So that's why the complaint, because I know that's not you and I know that's not Tanner.
Right.
So I am surprised that people can't just see the bigger picture and we're wasting any energy on this argument of authenticity. Here's where I think it's still totally authentic. It's like, first of all, from my experience of reality TV, of which I have some, and I have like, I've been on The Bachelor a few times. I was on Dancing with the Stars. I know other people on other reality TV shows. I say this with total sincerity. From my understanding, the Bachelor franchise and the shows that they have is easily the most non-scripted reality TV show out there.
That's why it's so successful.
Yes. You are always seeing real conversations in real moments. They're not scripted. They're not told what to say. So when it comes to Demi and Kristian, you continue to see real conversations in real moments. The show has always been and will always continue to be, to a certain degree, staged. It's staged in the sense that like they cast certain people to come on. That's an element of its stage. It's not a free-for-all where they just like have people line up and show up to the show, right? The dates, they're traveling around the world to all these locations. They get set up. Certain dates happen. Those are all staged. It's a TV show. Without it being staged, we wouldn't watch a show either. It's also successful because the producers are really good at creating situations that can create a level of interest for the people watching it, and then let the authenticity play out by the real non-scripted conversations. So here you have a situation where, once again, after her season, Demi, like everyone else, went on and started living her life. And then she started hanging out with and dating, not in a relationship, but dating a woman. And when they asked her to go on the show, and again, I don't know this to be the exact conversation. I'm making it up, and I'm assuming it went something like this. And they're like, hey, Demi, we want you on Paradise. And she's like, well, I'm super into it, but just so you know, I've been kind of hanging out with this person who happens to be a woman. So here, as I'm assuming, and I'm, again, don't know this to be the case, but I'm assuming, yes, the producers are like, here we have, again, a hit show on a network television show who constantly in their own right get criticized for not being progressive enough, to not changing with the times. And because of the structure of the show, it would be very hard to have a gay lead just because you have a bunch of people living in the house. They would just start dating each other because the show only works because you can't see the lead, and so like you're not attracted to them. Paradise is very different, so they maybe take up an opportunity to introduce its first gay relationship. Sure, would it have been ideal if two people cast in the show happened to also be like fluid or bisexual, so they started dating people? But what is the difference between Kristian, Demi's girlfriend, and the Kristian Hispanic man who no one remembered from whatever season he was on, but because he showed up night one and done some shit on on the tell-all, that makes him more of Bachelor Nation than dating Demi? Like, who cares? The big picture is we get to see an openly gay relationship, and we get to see the authenticity of a conversation. And for all my sister, I don't know if she watches Bachelor in Paradise, but like, you get to see a gay relationship being portrayed in a very positive light on a network television show. How is that not a good thing? And why can't people just focus on that and not focus on Kristian didn't get kicked off night one 5 seasons ago because that would have made it okay? I just like, sometimes we have to get change to happen. And you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, well, why didn't they could have had her come on, be a bartender with Wells and like bring her girlfriend on that way instead of pretending that she was.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. Again, yes, they could have done that, I guess. Sure. But that's also like at that point, you're arguing about how the producers should have done their job.
Yes, I'm arguing that they lied to us by pretending that she's going to come on and be single, and they already planned for her to come, and then Chris Harrison to sit down with her and be like, listen, I'm going to figure out a way to help you. It's like, no, you already knew what you were going to do.
We don't know that for sure. Everyone's assuming that. Again, we don't know, and I wouldn't doubt it for a second if Demi said to the producers, I've been hanging out with this girl, and they probably started asking her questions. Well, what do you mean? But what's the context of this relationship? Well, we're not like together, but like we've been hanging out and I like her. You know, no different than if Demi was doing this with some guy. But it's not. It is different because it is a woman, and then they realize that Demi is bisexual, and that is different than they've ever had before. So again, they could have easily said, well, why don't you if you're not in an exclusive relationship, why don't you go to Paradise? And we will see how things go. In the meantime, maybe we'll talk to this Kristian person and we'll see if she would be open to it if you don't meet anyone down there. The show is staged in the sense, what is the difference between that and do people really think that it's a coincidence that certain people are there for the first episode and other people walk down the stairs at certain times? Do you think it's a coin flip? Do you think we're just all this producers are just flipping coins to say it's a big free for all?
They're creating a situation, like you said earlier, they're creating a situation that is ripe for drama, but they're not lying to us.
What are you lying to us? It is a staged TV show. What are you lying? I just for all the crap that happened, and I totally am on board with Tanner about the Blake and Hannah stuff and people pretending to not have ever met.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Right.
Again, you are this makes it more interesting. All right. I'm sorry. Even if it was slightly staged, and I don't know it to be true, it makes it more interesting to see Demi come down and date a guy like Derek, who she's into guys, and struggle with this back and forth to tell that story. They are storytellers. So that is a good thing to just watch this unfold and watch a young woman struggle with this. It's a very relatable real life experience that people who are bisexual can relate to. That is a positive thing. Why do we have to get into the weeds of the producers, quote unquote, that they're not lying to us? You're assuming maybe they are because they happened the day before. And for other people who are hey, I'm happy for Demi, but why are they staying on the show? They're staying on the show so we can watch this relationship unfold, so we can see it on the shows. And because this whole idea that Kristian wasn't a part of Bachelor Nation, how many people on Paradise are on the show for 2 seconds you don't remember? Joe, Grocery Store Joe. I mean, yeah, he became an instant Twitter sensation after night one, but he was on the show for 30 seconds night one, and look at what he did. I mean, I just don't get what the difference is. I just don't get why people spend so much energy on something that doesn't really matter because of trying to maintain the sanctity of The Bachelor when we have finally progress and a show trying to make progress happen. And again, it makes it way more. I'm sorry, if they would have just casted Kristian the first, everyone would have been kind of confused. Who is this person? Why is she here? How do you tell that story? Well, that would have been more confusing. Well, I mean, I've been dating this person, and I just brought my girlfriend with me. No one would have been happy with that either. Mm-hmm. If people say they want that, they would have been just as frustrated and just as confused. So what the producers probably did is had Demi go down, give those relationships a shot, and be saying, and almost kind of have Kristian on standby saying, listen. And again, I've always said producers are really good at adapting very quickly. Just again, I didn't end up on Caitlyn's season because that's the thing. For all the people who thought I was going to, they had me set up, lined up, ready to go, and the season was going to play out and I was going to show up week 4. That is not the case. I was at work 2 weeks into the season. I was watching Jared going on the group date and winning a boxing match at work in my office, watching Reality Steve post spoilers with no plans of coming on. And then I got a call, and then I quickly did all the testing, and in 48 hours, I was in New York on the show. So that is 100% true. Well, I don't know the details of Demi and how Kristian showed up. It's totally believable that they totally knew that she had hung out with a woman. They were open to the possibility of maybe bringing her on, but told Demi to go down and give these relationships a shot, and then realized she's talking to the producers. I'd love, if she's willing to come, I'd love her to come. And then they made it happen in a matter of 48 hours. That is totally and absolutely believable. I don't know the real story. I also don't care. What I do care is that this is a great thing, and we get to see a beautiful relationship unfold that can be a great inspiration for young people who are fluid or bisexual or gay, and they get to see it promoted and shown in a very positive light. And I don't know why people can't just get on board with that, right? I don't know. We'll talk about it more with Tanner a little bit, but also talk a lot about how Tanner and I met and fatherhood. He's a father of 2 now. I want to be a father. I want to hear some of these stories. What's dating from a man's point of view in a like when I'm dating, they can still date when you're married. You're dating, it's dating his wife. What is that like? How's the sex, man? So we'll have a lot of those conversations. It's going to be great. I hope you tune in on Wednesday with me and Tanner. Also, just get on board and support this really great thing, people. Unless you can't get on board with gay relationships, that's something you guys have to figure out for yourself. But for the ones who are supportive of that in general and like The Bachelor, just be happy for Demi and Kristian. Derek's going to be fine.
Time for Nick to sell you things you really need, but you don't own yet.
Bomba socks, Rochelle.
The best.
Comfortable, fashionable. I can't say enough.
Yeah.
How can you can't, I mean, when you have great socks and you're putting them on your feet.
It makes your day so much better.
It is. It's just like it's like putting clouds on your feet every morning.
Yeah. I bought the no-show socks, which I'm always very skeptical of because they always fall out.
And sometimes they show.
These are the best no-show socks you could buy.
They don't they don't slip off your heel at all. It's so great. I wear those. I wear no-shows. I'm wearing no-shows right now.
You definitely are. And the colors are so cute.
Also a great time to get socks is because it's back to school season.
Yeah, set your kids up for success.
Right?
Yeah.
They get to brag about their socks.
Yeah, and they'll be comfortable for their long walks to school.
And they have all these like cute and fun designs.
Yes.
And I feel like when I was a kid, I used to care about things like that. Yeah. I think your kid will too. I'm almost certain I would care about that.
Yeah, you definitely would.
Yeah. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Rochelle. Well, anyways, visit bombas.com/Viall and get 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/VIALL for 20% off your first purchase. Bombas.com/Viall. Natural Apps Essential Oils. How are you enjoying
that sexy little white diffuser in my living room? Don't hate it.
Your roommate likes it too, doesn't she?
It's a guy. He enjoys it.
Men are really enjoying the essential oils.
Yeah.
It's like our 10%ers. Like I'm telling you guys out there, and for the girls out there, get your guy an essential oil. It's a great gift. They're great wedding gifts. They're elegant. They're sleek.
Yeah.
They're a much safer and cleaner version of scenting your indoor air.
Yeah.
No toxic candles, no fire hazards, no chemicals with the Febreze and plugins that you guys are putting in there. And over time, actually, it's a lot cheaper. Also, they have a bunch of health benefits. There's a bunch of little facts about essential oils I'm going to run through. Okay. Rochelle.
Let's hear them.
Did you know that being exposed to pleasant smells can increase your mood by 40%?
40%? I need that.
Like half about in a better mood when you're smelling. It's true. Peppermint, while also great for reducing headaches, which you can find in our center blend, also decreases your appetite.
Really?
Your craving for like sugar.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, essential oils have been used dating back all the way back to ancient Chinese cultures and Egyptian culture.
I believe that.
So this type of health benefits.
Yes.
This is nothing new, people.
No, we're not reinventing the wheel here.
No, we're just educating. Anyways, we are USD organic certified. We have the highest qualities oils out there. I truly believe in that. And we try to make it simple for all you people out there who have heard about essential oils, are confused about how do I use them. We blend them together. They're ready to go. Whether you want a benefit of sleep and calmness with our release blend. If you are struggle with headaches, our center blend would be perfect for you. Our Protect blend, I know the holidays are coming up. Our Protect blend will It's antiviral. It'll help boost your immune system. It also smells a lot like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So for all the people who love that Christmas scent in your house, that Protect Blend diffusing in your diffuser or on a roll-on, it will smell a lot like Christmas. Anyways, all new customers get 20% off with code NATURAL. Free shipping domestically. NHOils.com. We have roll-on form. You can put them directly in your skin. You get them in a diffuser. Check it out. NHOils.com.
Now go buy the stuff.
All right. What is your name, buddy? You 10%.
My name's Andrew.
What's up, Andrew? How are you doing?
Doing all right.
How can we help you, buddy?
So, last week, I think it was, I went on a date with a girl. We matched on Hinge, so got into the app dating game, and she messaged me first. We really hit it off. She gave me her Snapchat, and we ended up setting up a date. We got some drinks, and we really hit it off. We had super good conversation. We hit it off physically, and we both share faith. Super important to both of us. I work part-time with different ministries for local youth to support students that are in need, and that's a big passion of mine, and so that was really attractive to her. And I started to notice, like, all throughout the night, so she's, I guess, more of a party girl, I would say.
Okay.
She kept saying things like, oh my gosh, you're so perfect, you're so great, I'm going to ruin you, and things like that. Yeah, the whole night. And I'm just like, I'm not that great, I'm just a normal guy. But we're really hitting it off. And then things started heating up, and she invited me back to her place. And she asked me to have sex, and I didn't want to go that far on a first date, I guess. So I wanted to meet a little bit more. So I just really made it all about her. We didn't escalate that far. And the whole time I was just making it all about her.
When you say you made it all about her, can you be more specific? Are you talking about like sexually? Like you were a giver?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
It's the Christian spirit.
I can't. I feel like Andrew's calling and just like he's saying all the right things, man. Yeah, you're really killing it. But go ahead. All right.
I like to think of
These girls,
myself as
all the women listening to this episode right now,
no.
and be like, "Oh my god!" All right, go ahead. Keep going.
He also has a dimple in his chin, ladies.
But yeah, I didn't want to go that far, like right off the bat on the first date. So, but I really wanted to satisfy her, and so I guess if you want to talk base, we went to second base.
Great.
And at the end of the night, she was like, hey, like, promise, we meet up again. I was like, pinky swear, we pinky swore, so you knew it was real. And she texted me when you get home, so went home, texted her, and then I was texting her, I think, like, the next day, and she just started, responding less and less, and she said she was interested in meeting up, but never really responded to like making plans. So I just kind of got the vibe she wasn't interested. And so it was just confusing, I guess, for me, when you hit it off really well, like physically, but also like in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we also matched up on the important things and like values, and faith was a big thing for both of us. And she's like, I'm looking for a good guy, a guy with faith, but like also a guy to have fun with. And so I was just wondering, it was kind of weird that the whole night she was like, you're so great, you're so awesome, you're so sexy, I'm going to ruin you, and then doesn't show interest afterwards.
Well, I feel like the most important thing she said at the end was, I'm going to ruin you.
And she did.
Yeah.
So what, where are you, like, you haven't really heard from her? Are there still communication going on, but like you feel like it's really phased out? Or you're not talking anymore?
Yeah, it was phasing out. So I just decided to not really bother texting much more. So I just said, hey, kind of getting the vibe you're not interested. If you are, you know where I'm at. So,
I mean, listen, buddy, I think as far as what you could or could have done differently, I think you batted 1,000 here, and I think it sounds like you said and did everything right in terms of, I mean, good for you for, you're staying up to your convictions. You didn't want to hook up with her on the first night. Not that would be wrong if you did, but you wanted to wait. You liked her, so you wanted to see if maybe it was worth something more. And I think this is a great example of, I mean, for someone who, it sounds like you're open to having sex. Maybe you're not necessarily, you don't need to wait to get married, and you're still a religious guy, and you can be both. But at the same time, you want to have some value to it, so you're not necessarily trying to rush into it right away with everyone. I think that's great, right? And so here's a young woman who seemingly you thought she was into you, and then turns out it's phased away. But you've really done and said everything right. I mean, in terms of trying to understand what happened, I mean, how old are you? How old is she? You're in college, I'm getting the impression.
Yeah, so I'm 22. She's 23, so
Okay.
Recent graduate.
Yeah, I mean, My guess is, without knowing too much, is that she is not really looking for a guy. Even if she says she's looking for a guy, I think right now she's just having fun, and that's fine too, right? Connecting on, the thing about connecting on spiritually is kind of a tricky thing, I think sometimes, because I think when you grow up, you have this faith that you have. I think when you're young, you kind of worry about, will I be able to find someone who has those mutual interests? Because especially nowadays, there's so many different belief systems out there that, people are talking about. People are, maybe talking about religion a little bit less in the dating life. And so when you meet it, it's really exciting. But I think sometimes in dating, it can kind of draw people together or make you feel like you're closer than you really are. I mean, for example, after I got out of a very serious relationship, my next girlfriend, we met, and a big draw to her, I mean, there were a lot of reasons I was drawn to her, but a big draw for me was my other serious girlfriend. She wasn't very religious, and at the time I was pretty religious, and we would fight a lot about, she just wasn't comfortable with it, and I just really wanted someone to want to go to church with me, et cetera, et cetera. And then we broke up, and then all of a sudden my new girlfriend liked that we went to church. And not that was a bad thing, but I was so excited about that, that it kind of masks some other things, and it kind of inflated my interest in her. Which, and again, religion can bring people together, but sometimes you're so excited about that because people want that so much that it kind of masks the other things in the relationship in terms of connections and things like that. So not to take anything away from the fact that you had a mutual faith background, but that doesn't necessarily mean that two people are compatible in any other aspect in terms of chemistry. And it sounds like you had that. I think the important thing with this particular young woman is that I don't think she really is into having a relationship with a guy. All that serious. I mean, my guess is if she starts dating a guy anytime soon, it will probably be with some guy that, and it's just going to frustrate you, that the average person would consider to be a fuckboy. He will be the guy that you will be like, really? She's dating him? Really? Like that asshole? That piece of shit? It'll be the guy that everyone,
Why?
maybe you won't know him, because I think, again, I'm making a lot of assumptions here, is that she's having fun, and we all chase the wrong people all the time. Look at the season of Bachelor in Paradise. We were talking about it last week, where it's just why is Hannah overlooking Dylan, right? And then she's going after the Blakes of the world, or why was what's her name overlooking Clay and going after the Kristian guy? I just think sometimes, especially when you're younger, we want what we can't have more than, and I think sometimes it takes maturity to realize. What's interesting about your situation, Andrew, is that other than telling her that you were into her, the fact that you didn't sleep with her right away, you would think that maybe she would be like almost surprised in terms of, I don't think that happens to a lot of young women who are pretty, who go on dates with guys and want to have sex. And
she was surprised, he said.
Yeah. So that kind of surprised me, that like, if nothing else, that wouldn't want to make her chase you a little bit more. But it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't think she really wants a boyfriend. What I'm saying is, I think I'm certain about that. I'm saying if you found out that she started like hanging out with a guy exclusively on a regular basis, it would be some guy who just was able to have the upper hand on her.
Well, I found it interesting when in Andrew's email, he said the word nice guy, and then that she's a partier, and they're both Christians. Like there is an epidemic of guys being like, oh, girls don't ever go for the nice guys. And that's kind of annoying, I guess.
I think sometimes you seem, I think sometimes for people, not men and women, you seem pretty confident in yourself and you know what you want. And I'm not saying that's intimidating for people, but she might not be looking for that much stability right now, almost, in a sense that it's probably maybe intimidating for a guy for a young man like yourself to be like, I'm not ready to have sex, and you seem like you have all these things that you know what you want. I think sometimes that can be intimidating for people at an early age when they see someone so steadfast in terms of what they want. You kind of have a plan. Did you guys talk about future things at all when you were talking? And
I mean, not much, because it was the first date. Okay. At one point, she said jokingly, "Why don't you just marry me?"
I mean, I will say on first dates, man, like, I'm first and like second dates. I say this almost facetiously. I can't say it.
Oh no, that's a hard word.
Pretty much anything anyone says, take it as a grain of salt, especially when they start like complimenting you.
Yeah.
And especially if the compliments are anything more than, well, you seem like a nice person, I want to hang out. When they start like really kind of out, like, and it's fun to hear, you want to, she said she liked me, or she said she did this. It's like, she doesn't really know you, right? So like, people sometimes say things, and it's okay, you'll compliment, but just know that she doesn't really know you. So like, people will hold people accountable for sometimes the things they say to them. It's like, well, she said this, or he said that, or they did this.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like it's kind of like, yeah, so what? But what did they do?
What did they do?
What she did was had a fun night with you, wanted to get laid. You didn't want to. Yeah. You helped her out, in the other department. And, maybe she met another guy on Hinge, right? Maybe she's meeting 3 or 4 guys, and some other guy she found maybe to be probably, and this is not an inflection on you in any way, a little bit more exciting for her. I wouldn't have that change anything you're doing.
Yeah,
I think the emphasis, you're doing everything right, So you just have to have the conviction of, this is what I want. And again, I don't know what you guys, all the things you talked about. And I'm not saying you did this, but on first dates, for someone who is seemingly so kind of knows what they want and what they don't want, that can be intimidating. But so try not to empty that on them so early in the dating process, if that makes sense. Play it cool. If you have a lot of like, don't feel like you need to talk about the charities and the things that you're doing on the first date. Let that be something like someone's privy to on a 3rd or 4th date, and kind of throw it out nonchalantly. Like, I think, you're probably proud of that you're doing it, and you should be, and I think it's a great thing, but you don't have to lead with it, right?
I guess there's something that bothers me about the nice guy thing is sometimes guys are super nice to girls, and then they expect something in return. Like, well, I did this and this and this for her, and then she didn't, like... Yeah, I mean... No one really owes each other.
Do you think that's what that is?
The nice guy thing?
Do you think...
Like, I went down on her, and then she never messaged me. I'm not getting that sense from Andrew. I'm just saying to avoid that in the...
I don't know. Well, I don't think those are nice guys.
Yeah, ultimately, they're not nice guys.
I think they think they're nice guys.
Right.
That doesn't make them nice guys.
Right.
Andrew seemed like a nice guy. He's like, hey, listen, she wanted to have some sex. I want to have some sex. I figured I'd help her out. Yeah. I was fine with it. And I'm just surprised she doesn't want to keep hanging out.
Right.
And it wasn't like...
Totally.
You're right. Like, if you do something nice for someone, like... they don't owe you.
Yes.
And this doesn't mean, I don't mean sexual favors, anything.
yeah.
Especially early on. Like, you guys are just getting to know each other. So, I don't have all the answers for you what happened, but like the problem again with, younger people and dating apps and just dating apps in general is it's paralysis of choice. She has an abundance of options. She wants to have a good time right now, and that's fine. Right. But she just also, you have to realize that maybe you also don't really know her. Right. So don't get too bummed that she didn't respond to you, doesn't want to hang out as much. It's not a reflection of you. I thought your message to her was awesome. Hey, you put yourself out there. You know how I feel about you. If you want to reach out, let me know. Definitely don't reach out to her. Don't check in a week.
Yeah. Okay.
She knows that you want to hang out, right? Disappear.
Yeah.
Go move on.
Yeah.
Right. If you do hear from her in like 3 weeks, I mean, and she responds, like, don't be so quick to get back to her. Also, like, and I would take it slow, because if she waits more than a week to get back to you and you hear from her in 3 weeks, she got back to you because she's bored.
That is good.
That doesn't mean that she doesn't like you. And again, the truth is she doesn't really know you, right? And there's nothing wrong with someone a 23-year-old woman who wants to live her life and have some fun, and she doesn't want to be in a relationship. What she might be guilty of with you is maybe she's talked about wanting a relationship and she really doesn't. But a lot of people don't feel comfortable. And I think maybe women, maybe because of society, how they judge women, like, I don't think we're still at a point where women feel comfortable, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rochelle, to just openly say, listen, I don't want a boyfriend. I want a date. And occasionally I want a little bit of sex, without people labeling them as promiscuous or slutty or whatever. So maybe
that's a good point.
Maybe there's a little bit of that. And maybe I'm just getting the impression that's what she wants to do. And she should just she should just be upfront about that. But you guys only went on one date. You had some fun, and
don't take it personally. You sound amazing.
You did everything right.
You're an amazing guy.
I wouldn't worry about the nice guy thing.
Yeah.
Have some fun yourself, and I feel like you are probably. You're going out, you're doing things.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. This guy's got some charm. He's fine. Sometimes people like get rejected and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Early on in the dating process, the things people say to each other, it's all kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
In a sense. Especially the first couple dates. It's not until later on. But if I were you, all the good deeds you're doing, don't talk about it for our first couple dates.
Right.
Don't seem like you're don't come across as Captain America. Let them find out.
Oh my God, you are Captain America.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes it can kind of backfire. Sometimes it can either come across as cocky, or it can come across as intimidating. You're doing it, and you're doing it for yourself. Let them find out. And it's probably way more attractive for women to, like, all of a sudden you're on your fourth date and you're like, wait, you do what? I didn't know. Really? Wow. That's even great. I just thought you were some boy at a party. Like, I think that's way more attractive than you talking about it on the first date.
Okay.
Don't be super cryptic. If they ask you a direct question, be like, do you do any charity work? Don't lie to them. But like, usually that question doesn't come up on a first date. Don't offer that information. Let them find out. Maybe like you hung out a couple times, and then all of a sudden some girl texts you, what are you doing? Like, oh, I have to do this thing. I'm volunteering at a thing. Hey, do you want to come? You could do that. Surprise a girl when you're dating them and invite them along to participate in whatever it is you're doing is a better way of introducing some of the great things you're doing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
I would definitely do that. Because otherwise, especially on a first date, it just sounds like you're bragging.
Yeah, I often, I don't know. I feel like I come off as like, I don't know, this like great guy in theory, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And because I don't know, like my faith's really important, and I do ministry work, and I feel like a lot of times I guess, I don't know, girls are maybe like intimidated by that, or they're like, well, I'm not that great of a person, so I don't want to date you. Or they like almost like project like that I don't have any fun, or, you know.
No, I get that. But my guess is you might be talking about it more than you realize. So just lead by example and not with your words in that department, right? So have that be something they find out about you later on in the dating process, not something you lead with. You know, you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to like let people know. Just so you know, I mean, again, and listen, Andrew, if you have to date someone who is just as like faith driven as you are, then I guess it needs to come up earlier in the dating process. But like, I think you're young enough to like, you can have 3 or 4 dates. I mean, 3 or 4 dates isn't that much an investment of your time to really figure out what this person's into. You don't have to like qualify your future wife on the first date. You know what I'm saying? You can, I think people do that sometimes, is you're trying to figure out, well, I don't want to waste my time, so I need to figure out if this person's legit. And on the first date or second date, you're asking them a bunch of basically interview questions. You can go out, you can date someone for 3 or 4 weeks to really figure out whether they're worth your time or not. You know, what's the difference?
That's good.
It's just a month, man. You know, like in the meantime, you're not whoring around and going to all these parties. So like, just be upfront. Don't lead people on, and just, you can hang out with someone for a month and keep it casual and get to know them. And in that month of dating someone for the first time, let them slowly find out about the things that you're doing in your life. You don't have to, you know, and again, if they ask, be upfront, but don't talk about it as much. And I think that nice guy fear will go away. Be mysterious.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And maybe you should go on The Bachelor. I'm just saying. You look like you could be on The Bachelor.
Yes, he certainly has a playbook. He's too young. You give it a couple years.
There you go. I could pull the Ben Higgins.
Oh,
there you go. I love Ben, but like, again, just like talk about my biggest takeaway is talk about that stuff less, especially early on. Let them find out. Yeah. They will, if anyone worth your time is going to find this out about you, because it is such a big part of your life. You don't need to talk about it early on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
And my other big fear is, with my faith being so important, I don't ever want anyone to assume I'm a Luke P type. So.
Well, that's entirely up to you, right? Like, again, Luke P. Yeah. You know that the religion can be a sticky thing, and that was kind of my point earlier. Is that religion's great, faith is great. Sometimes people lead with it too much, and they have it warped. It becomes an excuse for everything they're doing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of righteous people out there who use religion as a weapon, but there's a lot of people who don't, right? And so it's not an excuse for everything you're doing. So if you're not that type of guy, no one will think you're that type of guy. But again, I think, and just reiterate my point, it just comes down to lead with your actions, not your words. Luke is someone who led a lot with his words and not with his actions. And his actions said one thing, his words said another. So just don't do that, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Awesome.
Have some fun. Keep on shooting, shooter. You're going to be fine.
All right.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you guys.
Thanks for your call.
Hope you have a great day.
You too, bud. I think the biggest mistake people make on first dates is talking too much about themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the balance, though, because if everyone goes in on a first date saying, well, I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions, and then it's just like a standoff.
It's like what Chris was saying, Chris Harrison and Lauren Zima, their first date. Yeah. They were just interviewing each other.
Well, that's kind of a good thing. Usually it's the person who has the upper hand in a first date is the person asking the questions and answering them. Mm-hmm. I've been on both sides, you know. It just depends if there's like an, but also that it can be, even if you are asking a lot of questions, you don't want to make it sound like you're interviewing them either.
Right.
That other person can be intimidated, which can like be advantageous for you, but not necessarily, you're not merely building a connection.
Right. Yeah. But I liked what you said about taking everything they say with a grain of salt, because I'm so guilty of that, remembering everything they've ever said. And it's like, well,
Listen, I have done that too. I mean, especially in breakups, even if you've dated someone for like a year and you're like, well, they did this or this or this. It's like, people say shit, right? And again, going back to, previous episodes we have, is I really want to get away from people, the excuse of, well, I didn't want to be mean, so I said X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And that is a challenge for us to, if you got to be honest in the moment, again, to give the other person an opportunity to hate you or move on or whatever. It is not an excuse to not be direct, as a way to, because the truth is, you're not trying to not be mean. You're just trying to avoid conflict.
Feeling bad.
And feeling bad. I really loved Andrew's, like, his was basically last ditch with this girl, which is, I like you. Let me know if you, I think that's for a young man. I thought that was a great thing, because he admitted to her, he showed vulnerability.
Yeah. Right.
Knowing that she probably wasn't into him.
Right.
And I think a lot of guys that young were like, "Woof, fuck
Play
her.
it cool.
I don't
Yeah.
really like her anyways.
Yeah.
You suck," or whatever.
Yeah.
I think his everything he did was perfect.
Yeah. And it's like we all want answers of why didn't someone do this? Why you're not going to
like you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, in more case, my guess is, without knowing, is like she just met. She met some.
You don't need an answer.
They're
You just
dating on
need to
dating
move on.
apps. She went on 3 dates that week. Let's assume, and that's fine. Good for her.
Yeah.
The dating app world is fine. It is a struggle because our egos assume that when they go on a date, we're the only one they're going on a date with that week or whatever.
I know.
But even the people who also have 2 other dates lined up assume that the other person's only going out with them. We're all just hypocrites in that space. And it's fine that we're doing that, but it's kind of like, out of mind, out of sight.
Right.
We don't talk about it, so we think it's not going on. And the reality is they are hanging out with other people.
All right, let's get to our next caller.
Yeah. What is your name, young lady?
Hi, I'm Morgan.
Hi, Morgan. How are you? I'm Nick. This is Rochelle.
Hi.
Good. Nice to meet you guys.
What's going on? How can we help?
So, I'll give you a quick little backstory of my question. I have been friends with this guy for a really long time from college, and we've always kind of had a thing for each other. And for the past 3 years, back and forth, he's liked me, I liked him, but I've been seeing someone, he's been seeing someone. And so about a month ago, we reconnected, just started hanging out as friends, and then it started leading to something more romantic and a little bit more serious. And so I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago, he came out to visit me because he lives 5 hours away. And he stayed the weekend with me, went really well, super awesome. And then the next week, after he went back, he surprised me with concert tickets, told me to come and stay out with him, meet his family, everything like that. Because it was his mom's birthday that weekend. And so the day before I was supposed to leave, that morning I get a call from him, and his ex-girlfriend that he had been seeing right before we reconnected told him that she was 8 weeks pregnant.
Mm.
And so, yeah,
Okay.
she's not a good gal, really controlling, kind of took a toll on him emotionally. That's why I got out of the relationship.
Have you ever met her?
So, I'm sorry, what?
Have you ever met her?
No, I've never met her.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So this is all from what he's telling me. So who knows?
Okay.
Could be.
That's kind of my point. But
And
Yeah.
so he told me, so I was like, okay, that's kind of a sketchy situation. I don't think I want to be a part of baby mama drama. So I was like, okay, I'm going to back off. I'll be here for you as a friend, but I just don't think it's best if I come out there. And he was like, yeah, I agree. And then he was still trying to keep me hanging on. I would try to kind of back off. And then he would still tell me that she was controlling him and hurting his feelings, while he was going to doctor's appointments with her, still being there with her, she told him he couldn't talk to me, made him block my number, block me on social media, everything. And so every time he was with her, I was blocked. So when he wasn't with her, he would unblock.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's your question? I guess, what are you trying to figure out?
So a few days ago, he told me that he completely let her go, told her he would be a co-parent with her, but wasn't going to be with her throughout the pregnancy, and said he wanted to pursue things with me.
Okay.
I really like this guy, but I'm also kind of a little sketched. So I guess my question is, do you think I should pursue it or just completely let go, just not be involved?
It's a tough one. My
normally I would completely let go, but I've known him for so long, and we are such good friends that I feel a little guilty.
So you've known him. So you've known him for how long again?
I've known him how long?
Yeah.
I've known him for probably 4 or 5 years.
And really well. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm a huge
Really good guy.
I'm a huge believer that people show who they really are in times of crisis. It's really easy to be great and wonderful when everything's fine. We all have our moments. No one is perfect, but how people really handle crisis really shows who they are, especially who they can be in a relationship, right?
Exactly.
One of my ex-girlfriends once, we broke up, and it was kind of a mutual relation ending, but we were just fighting, and I remember we had mutual friends, and we would get back together. We'd hang out a lot, and me and her always had fun. Always, we had crazy chemistry, and then she was just like, why can't we just be together? We have so much fun together. And I said, it's not because of how much fun we have when it's good, it's because of how bad it is when it's bad, and how she would fight, and my point is, so this is an opportunity, I guess, in a way, to see how he handles this situation. So far, it doesn't sound like he's handled this situation as it relates to you and him. Great, right? So I think in these situations, also, it's important to trust your gut. What does your gut tell you in terms of him as a partner to you in a romantic relationship, not as a friend? Because you have he can be a good friend and he can be a pretty good guy, but does that make him a great boyfriend? I'm not saying it is yes or no. But I would cut at this point, if you want to pursue a relationship with him, I would have him on a very short leash, so to speak, in the sense that you've kind of had a long leash, and it's kind of like, all right, buddy. All right. I like you. I'm going to put myself out there. You have a baby mama, and not ideal either, but again, I still like you, so I'm still open to it. But it kind of my leash is, there is no length to my leash. There, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need to be straightforward with him, and then you need, if you want to pursue it, and I'm not telling you no. So if you want to pursue it, I would take it slowly on your end. And I would be like, listen, let's talk. I'm open to having a romantic relationship with you, but I need to take that part slow. I think if you want to pursue something romantically with him, I think you need to,
Can
in
you
a
say
way.
that again? I'm sorry.
I said, if you want to pursue something romantically with him, I think in a way you have to say goodbye to the previous relationship you had with him as a friend, in a sense that you really have to mentally go all in with this guy romantically, which puts the friendship at risk, right? Because in fairness to him, you can't confuse him with how you're going to be there for him. If you want to say no to the romantic relationship and just be his friend, then I think you need to draw that line very clearly now, right? So you can say, hey, listen, I don't want to be involved with this. It's just romantically, I want something a little cleaner, and you have the right to say that, but I'm here as your friend if you want me. And then you have to be friends with him, right? So if you were to say that, if you just want to be his friends, then he's going to try to do romantic gestures. You would want to shut that down. You would have to say no, I want to be your friend. And if you're not okay with that, then maybe we can't be friends. So I think it's on you to paint a very clear line. So if you want a romantic relationship, I think you then should say goodbye to the previous friendship, expect romantic, to pursue it romantically, but on your end, take it slow, right? Take it slow in the sense that see how he handles being a co-parent. And co-parenting starts now because she's pregnant, right? If she's going to have the baby, he is a parent now, even if the baby is not delivered in a sense. So how he's there for her, he needs to stop talking bad about his ex.
Yeah.
Especially, especially in the sense that like she can be all these things, right? And he can vent his frustrations, but it shouldn't be something he's doing to convince you to stick around or to justify his actions. If she's a nightmare and you're in a romantic relationship with him, it would make sense to be like, oh, I can't, can I just vent a little bit about her name, whatever her name is? Fine.
Yeah.
But she might be a nightmare and he has the right to say no to her, like not blocking you and unblocking you and those things.
Yeah.
So you really need to hold him accountable, especially if you're in a romantic relationship, to be able to stand up to you. And he needs to be able to stand up for you. He needs to be able to stand up to her. And I think it sounds like you don't really know like what his intentions are in that space.
Because if he's going to sit there and block me when he's with her, like what's he doing when he's not with
shady.
me?
Exactly.
And, like what's he telling her about me?
Exactly.
And she's not going anywhere. She's going to stay.
She's not going anywhere. Yeah. But it sounds like your gut.
And I think
that's what I'm saying. Trust your gut. I think it's very honest for you to say, you know what? I don't know if he's talking shit about me to her. You know?
Exactly.
And if you were to find out that he was, his excuse would be like, well, I just said it to her because she's crazy and whatever. Doesn't make it okay. Because he could literally be the same thing to you. So. And
he said that she told him to block me because he does talk so highly about me and she knows how he feels about me and everything. And
so what?
Doesn't want me
but listen, I think it's fine if you want to throw that all under the bus, so to speak, and start fresh now, like I said, because maybe he's a little fucked up about like, oh shit, I got this girl pregnant. I don't know
of course
what to
he
do.
is.
Of
He's
course,
like,
right?
He's underwater right
Fine.
now. Yeah.
But he came to you and said, you know what? I let that go. I was honest with her. I'm going to be a co-parent and it's going to end there. I want to be with you. All right, fine. But he needs to really step up now and show that. And I think that I would really pay attention to his actions and really trust your gut in this moment. If he is doing things that feel wrong, they're wrong. Right? If they feel wrong to you, trust your gut. Do not make excuses for him. And if you start in your head being like, well, I mean, I guess maybe he could blah, blah, blah.
Wow, that's good, Nick.
He's wrong, right? So have him on a very short leash. Take it very slow for you, right? Go at a speed that you're comfortable with and go at a speed that makes sure that he has to really show how it's what he needs to show to you is how is he going to manage these two relationships, because he has a relationship with her and that relationship is parenting, and you need to figure out how he's going to handle both these relationships, because right now, even if she is a nightmare, she's if she's truly a nightmare, how is he going to handle this nightmare co-parent? Because that is going to affect your life. And is it really worth you getting into a relationship where you have to be involved with someone who is a nightmare co-parent? But he has a lot of control, right?
Yes. And he's a little like showing other red flags. And so he just gets a little jealous. Like I've gone on dates.
No.
I'm like, okay, I'm kind of removing myself from the situation. If I don't reply fast enough, he's like, hello, like, what are you doing?
No.
And I'm just like, I think I'm coming to terms that looks like I need to end it and just kind of lose the friendship. But I think losing the friendship is kind of making me sad. So.
I mean, trust your gut. It sounds like trust your gut. And maybe it sounds like maybe you feel like this isn't right for you, and that's okay. Again, I'm willing, if you want to pursue a relationship, willing to understand that, again, this situation has been really hard for him. And so he's confused, and not to justify that. But again, there's also a lot of confusion on his part. He's trying to handle this girl and this pregnancy. Meanwhile, you're kind of dating other people, so he's getting jealous. Fine. But again, it all comes down to communication. So if you two were to say, I'm going to give this a go, I'm not going to deal with other people, maybe he will be less confused. So it all comes down with being on the same page, right? So that's where that part's on you. You have to figure out what you want, communicate that with him, and then be very clear, and then take your time to figure out whether he can follow through. But definitely trust your gut, because it sounds like your gut's telling you maybe he's not the guy. And if your gut's telling you, I don't want to deal with this bullshit, that is totally justifiable.
Yes. You're a beautiful, beautiful woman. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Let him show you how he is going to handle this situation that he's got himself in. So
exactly. And he kind of just needs to do himself for a little bit, and I'll. I just don't think it's gonna work out. I think you kind of helped me out there. I think it's just like waiting for it to hear what you said, and I did. So.
All right. Well,
and I've asked a few of my really trustworthy friends, and they've told me the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to keep asking when I've gotten the answer that I know I probably need.
Totally. I mean, yeah. He's I feel like that's a win.
Yeah. Good.
Great. But again, anything he needs to, their actions are going to speak louder than the words, as always.
And it's okay to be sad when a relationship ends. It is sad.
And you can still be, if you don't want to date him romantically, just be his friend then. But don't be very clear about your friendship, don't let him do romantic gestures.
No blurred lines.
No blurred lines. Be very clear. So that part is on you. And he'll have to accept that or not accept that. And if he can, great. But don't blur the lines.
Blurred lines.
Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're going to be great.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. I've never understood blocking.
Oh, yeah. That's rough.
What I mean is,
it's very emotional.
I don't understand why men and women will get someone to block someone else.
Get a friend to block?
Like, if you're the girl who's the prego girl.
Yeah.
And according to him, she's like, she blocked me. Why? That's where I don't usually believe it, because it really makes no sense.
Unless they were dating,
if we're dating Rochelle, right? Yeah. And you had some other guy, and I said, you need to block him. Why? For what?
If he's hitting me up all the time, and you want to make sure I don't dabble.
Don't respond. Well, I need to know that you what, you can't control yourself? So
I can't control myself.
Then that's already a red flag. Also, why block him? I want him to see.
Yeah, that's all kinds of messy.
It doesn't add up. When someone says they made me block you,
that's what I said. In my head, I said, this story is not adding up.
It doesn't add up. What's the reason someone would make someone block someone else? If I'm dating a girl and there's some third party guy, I don't have a problem with him seeing us.
Oh, you want him to see you?
I'm not saying I want to, but I don't like. And if I'm so worried that she can't reach out,
I think people use blocking as a way to make someone disappear. If you block them, they no longer exist.
If I was dating a girl and she's like, "Oh, this is guy," and she blocked him because that's fine.
Right, but
I'm not making her block anyone.
Yeah, no.
And when someone accuses someone else for they made me block you.
That's
that sounds like bullshit.
I liked what you said though about if it feels wrong, it is wrong, and we as women and everybody so often try to excuse so many things that feel terrible.
Men and women do it, but I think women are probably more guilty of it. But Andrew kind of was, again, when you feel like you have less power, when you're feeling rejected, it's this battle between your ego and common sense, and your ego is telling you listen, there's no way they don't like you. You're the fucking man, right? And so every other obvious sign that's telling you they're just not that into you, your ego's no,
I'm the young Ben Higgins.
You're fucking awesome. You're I know, and they said they liked my shirt, so they must be in love with me. I don't get it, and I think we all do that, right? So but there's something in your gut that says they just don't. This feels wrong, and so if it feels wrong, it's most likely wrong.
Yeah. Wow, I love that.
What is your name?
Brenna,
how are you? I'm Nick. This is Rochelle.
Hi.
Good. Hi.
How can we help you, Brenna?
So my question is basically, I'm struggling with being more loyal to my fiance or my best girlfriend.
Oh, I'm curious as to why you have to choose.
So for example, my best friend's getting married, and for their parties. So, I'm in her wedding party, and my fiance is in his wedding party. So they're really close friends. And
when you say his, you mean like your best friend's fiance?
Yeah.
I was like, well, of course he's in his own. Anyways, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, we're both in their wedding parties, and for their stag or bachelor party, they had strippers, which they all agreed that they wouldn't tell their girlfriends or whatever. It just keeps it easier.
Ugh.
And
does it though?
But my fiance and I have a really good relationship. We trust each other, whatever. So he told me, because I don't care if they're strippers, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
But I think my friends would care, but she doesn't know. And he's like, you can't tell her. Like, I don't want to get in trouble with the guys. Like, we all said we wouldn't say anything. So now I'm like, do I tell her? But I don't know. It's just a hard situation for me.
Strippergate.
Wow. What is your fiance, other than you can't tell her, what does your fiance have to say about the situation? Like, where is he helping you in this regard? Like, he told you that they have strippers. That's great that you have this relationship. And first off, I want to say, I'm glad that you two have a relationship that seems to be open and not have jealousy, and that you trust him to I mean, listen, I'm guessing he's the type of guy, I've been to strip clubs. I've been to bachelor parties where they had strippers. I find the whole thing just to be repulsive and disgusting. And I'm not trying to flex my I'm a great guy card. I just don't really like it. Honestly, it's more my ego in the sense of I don't have to pay for this. I find it gross. Anytime I've been to a strip club, it's been a combination of either young, stupid men at whether it's a bachelor party or creepy old guys. There's no in between. It's just I personally hate them. So I think anyone I've ever dated, but weirdly enough, I know there are guys out there that are super into strip clubs.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know. And I'm guessing this group of guys is probably a mix. I mean, I'm assuming your fiance doesn't give you the vibe that he really is into that whole thing. He just kind of went along for the ride.
Yeah, 100%. He's like, I just did it. I didn't do anything, but they were there. Everyone else paid for them. We all chipped in. Whatever.
It's probably kind of not super attractive anyways. But my question is what is he doing to help you with this little house of cards, so to speak, in the friend space? Other than saying you can't tell.
He doesn't really say much. He doesn't mean to put me in an uncomfortable position. He's like, I get why you'd want to say something, but he's like, I didn't want to, we live in a small town, so it's going to come out eventually.
Exactly.
I feel like it's going to get brought up at some point. So he's like, I might as well just tell you. I don't want to hide things from you. You're going to find out, but I don't want you to be the one to have to tell her, basically.
Great. How old is this general group, give or take? I'm guessing you're all similar ages. Yeah.
Yeah, 25.
You're okay. Yeah.
Is there a reason why he just went along with the idea of not telling any of the women? Did he think about maybe standing up and saying
I'm kind of somewhat there. That it's not his problem to tell all the women. His focus is on you in this relationship.
But he agreed with our whole thing of we're not going to tell anyone.
Well, he told his fiance.
But at the night, he said, we're not going to tell anyone.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like this group of guys collectively agreed to this. He might not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? I'm picturing a situation where the guys were and he was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, babe, this happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I do think, however, I think a conversation you need to have with them is say, listen, you're putting me in a tough spot. I know you don't mean to. I do appreciate you telling me. But at some point, he's gotten halfway of being awesome. If he wanted to be totally awesome, what he could be is he could go to his buddies and say, listen, guys, first of all, I don't hide anything from my fiance. And if you want to judge me for that, fine, but I don't. You can call me whatever you want, but I don't hide anything from my fiance. That being said, I've asked her not to tell anything to anyone, but I can't control that. But my biggest priority is my relationship with my fiance. Having said that, you might want to tell your fiance, your women, because listen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if he has your back and he, I don't think guys, if he's really like steadfast about that, his friends might like be mad at him, but like he's gone halfway. He needs to step up and not be intimidated by his buddies. And he needs to he's not saying that you're going to do anything. He needs to let them know that you know.
Right.
He shouldn't be ashamed of being honest with his fiance. He should be proud of that.
Like, he's done this before. Like, just little things like, oh, I heard this about your friend from another guy, but don't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's great that he tells you everything, but he shouldn't. He is being dishonest to his friends, and that's not okay. He's being a little gossipy in that space.
He should go up to them and be like, okay, well, I'm going to tell her.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'd be like, listen, guys, I love you guys, but if you're up to some shit you don't want to tell your wives, don't include me.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the right thing. I mean, he might have a different opinion. You might want to argue, but the truth is, I get from his point of view, he doesn't want to be left out of this group. He probably he doesn't want to lose, guy code. I don't want to, but he's not living up to guy code. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. He's living up to fiance code. And that's better.
Yeah.
Right? So he should not pretend to his buddies that he is living up to the guy code, because he's not. And eventually he to your point, he's going to get caught anyways. So he would be more of a man and a better friend to his guy friends if he were to step up and just say, all right, guys, just so you know, I do not fucking lie to my fiance. So just know that. I told her about the strippers because I don't lie to her, and I don't know. She hasn't told any of the girls yet, but like, I don't know how this shit doesn't eventually come out. So you might want to like just step up in the future. Don't include me in things you don't want my fiance to know, because she knows everything about me.
Yeah, maybe they should stop doing shady shit. I
mean, there's somewhere in the middle too, right? Because I'm not here to say whether strip clubs are like...
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it that bad to have strippers at a bachelor party?
It's debatable, We have the whole porn question. Is it cheating to watch porn? It just depends on the couple. If you communicate, you're open about... We're not here to say one's right or one's wrong. But we always talk about communication, honesty. And he's being honest with you, but he's being dishonest to his friends.
Right.
And he should just be honest with everyone. And if that means some of his buddies, I don't think I've never had a real friend stop hanging out with me because I was a great fiance or a great boyfriend or a great partner. They'll get over it. People just don't like being lied to at the end of the day. So he should stop lying to his friends, because he is lying to his friends.
Should she tell her friends?
So it's not my responsibility to tell my girlfriend.
Well, I think the important thing is, what I'm getting at is, I think you need to sit down with your fiance and talk about this thing he seems to be doing is telling you the truth, which you really appreciate. And I would stress that you appreciate that. But he's going to get him. You need to be a friend to your fiance, right? And help him understand that, like, I don't want you to lose your friendships because you get caught in a lie eventually. And that is going to happen. So I think you need to encourage him to just be upfront and honest with his boys and let him know that they will respect him for just being steadfast and be like, hey, I don't lie to my fiance. I don't lie to my girlfriend. Guys, his friends will respect him for it. And the ones who don't aren't worth being friends. And then as far as this immediate situation, have that conversation with your fiance first. Because you are going to be stuck eventually in getting caught. Because the truth is, if no one cheated and they just had some strippers, this is not the end of the world.
Right.
And it's not worth anyone losing their shit over anything.
Yeah.
It's what's going to end up happening is, the bigger problem is the lies. It's not the act itself, it's the cover-up. And they're going to create a bigger situation of something that's really not that big of a deal, assuming nothing actually happened other than they hired a couple like strippers no one really was attracted to. So you got to have that conversation with your fiance, and I think I'm
always hurt as a woman when my girlfriends don't tell me something. They know that
totally
makes me feel dumb or something.
I get that, but I'm trying to like look at the bigger picture here, and the bigger picture is you need to like this like you said, this has happened before. This is going to happen again. So you need to help your fiance be also honest with his friends and honest with you at the same time. He shouldn't have to make a choice. They should just know that he tells you everything, and his friends should respect that. And his friends need to, and maybe help your friends in the future be like, girls, this is not a big deal, and if you don't trust your guy not to fuck a stripper, then you have bigger problems. And then I think you should emphasize to your fiance, like, I do feel really uncomfortable not knowing. And so like, sometimes there's situations, I remember being in relationships where this is affected by you in a sense that he went to a party where there's a stripper, so he wants you to know because technically that affects you. There are other situations, and I've had groups like this, like my young groups in my hometown. We all have boyfriend and girlfriends, and there always seems to be a lot of drama sometimes. And sometimes my girlfriend at the time would come back and be like, "Did you hear about X, Y, and Z?" Right? They just kind of download the drama, and I would sometimes, and it would cause stress sometimes. And I would say to her, "Does this have anything to do with you and I? Because if not, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to," because then you just get caught up in the drama. That's not this situation, because you're affected by the fact that he went to a party with a stripper and he wants you to know. So like, I think in these friend groups, you just try to avoid the drama that you're not a part of. And if you are a part of, his friends need to know that you're going to know. Otherwise, again, it's just going to get real messy. So in your
I didn't even think of that side of it, like him telling his friends that I know.
That's step one, is he needs to be proud of the fact that he is honest with you. It's something he should be proud of. He should be an example to his friends. He shouldn't feel like he's the weak link by being the honest one. And you need to help him be proud of that. And then you should get him to man up to his friends, and then give you and then hopefully get his friends to just be honest with their spouses so that you don't have to tell them. And hopefully because I don't want it to be brought up and her ask or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already knew about that. Yeah, it's going to create drama. It's going to get messy. And I think you just need to encourage your fiance that big picture and say, this is going to come out and it's going to get messy. What happens when it comes out a week before the wedding? And really it's nothing, but what's going to be I can't get, you lied to me. And,
lies.
But it all starts with you two and him being proud of the fact that he's honest with you, not ashamed of it. I'm not saying he's ashamed of it, but he's hiding it from his friend.
Yeah.
And he. Yeah,
for sure.
So help him understand that in the big picture. In the short term, hopefully he can convince his friends to be honest. And if not, you just got to be like, well, I don't know what do you want? What do you expect me to do? I always find it when I'm in a tough spot and someone's asking, what would you do in this if it was the other way around? If I say, like, if I were cheating on you and your buddy Matt knew, what would, kind of thing, like, always try to reverse the situation in a sense of like, because when it's affecting them, people always sometimes have a different point of view of how they'd handle a situation.
Like put them in my shoes. Yeah.
I really think your problems will be solved if you guys can get on the same page in terms of having his friends know how honest he is with you. And that's a great thing, not a bad thing. All right.
Awesome.
Hopefully
that helps. Yeah, that helps a lot.
That was helpful. All right. Well, good luck. Let us know how it goes. I am curious if you follow through with this, what the results are.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, but make him feel like you were really grateful for his honesty, and let him know how proud you are that he is that way. He should be proud of that, not ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely like thankful that he tells me stuff, but
And he should like be
He's
able to
just
go to
a
his
little bit unaware that I'm uncomfortable now.
yeah,
Because
and he should
tricky.
be able to go to his friends and be like, "You guys all like lie to your girlfriends." Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
stop.
You suck. Stop
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
He should be able to say that. And his friends, if his friends are like, "Oh, you know, like they're the wrong ones," and then he will figure out.
Yeah.
And you know, you guys are engaged to be married. So as soon as you get married, you have families. You guys will become your own family. And this friend group you have, I promise you, will dissipate. You know. You're going to stay close to some of them. Some people will fade away. You'll all keep in touch and you'll all send Christmas cards. But in 5 years, your lives are all going to be very different. That much I promise.
Right.
I'm not saying you won't be friends. I'm just saying this little tight group that everyone does everything with right now won't be the same in 5 years.
You'll drift away.
Yeah. So like really know what you're prioritizing and remind him of that.
It's like grown-up Gossip Girl.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. This happens, I think, often, and like, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a small town. When you're in your mid-20s and you're not like, and you're dating, and you're all dating, you have a group of friends,
Yeah.
right? It's like this post-high school kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of before everyone really settles down, and maybe you're all engaged, or maybe even one of those couples is married but hasn't had kids yet. There's just kind of like this big group, and it's very Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
There's always like friendship drama, always, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you just have to. That guy code stuff, I've never really subscribed to it,
Right?
You know, for all the shit I was like giving Jed. Right. And I know like some of his buddies from the season were like kind of chirping at me, and all it comes down to like, I know like Dylan is a good friends with Jed, it sounds like. And, you know, he was a little chirping at me because I was hard on his buddy. You know what? You know what a good friend is? A good friend is calling at your friend for doing shitty things.
Ooh.
A good friend isn't having their.
I love that.
You can have their back and still call them out.
Oh, that's what you need.
You know. Yeah, I remember when I was critical of Jed on the podcast with Rachel and Allie, is that, you know, they asked him like, and that's how my name got brought up. It's like, have any of your guys from the season give you crap? It's like, oh, they've been really supportive. And I don't know if that's true because Jed's proven to be a liar, but if that is true, I'm really disappointed in these guys. I mean, like, you shouldn't be proud of that. And those guys shouldn't be proud of the fact that no one said to you, hey, man, like, again, like, I want to hear your truth. But, like, if you did that, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a good friend, guy or girl. You can be a good friend to your friend by telling him to stop being shitty. And you can hold your friends accountable. That's what good friends do. Too many times it's like, well, they're my friends. So like, I just have to went along with it.
Yeah.
It's not being a friend.
Yeah.
And you'll get yourself in trouble, especially, and it's always the lies. The stripper thing, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a couple who you've decided like strippers are the death of the relationship, well, then don't do it.
Right. Yeah, then don't do it. If it's going to destroy her life to find out.
For the women out there, hopefully in a relationship, that if a couple guys do some idiot, go hire a stripper, because I don't really get it, but I don't need one at my bachelor party, but it's not the end of the world. But it's the lies that get you.
House of Cards falling down.
Hannah and Jed are not together, not because he had a girlfriend, but because he lied.
Truth.
All right, buddy. What is your name?
My name's Jeremy.
Jeremy, nice to meet you. This is Nick. I have Rochelle with me today.
Hello.
How can we help you, buddy?
So I emailed in about a week ago. I'm in a bit of a predicament, I guess you could say. I titled my email that I'm cursed.
How are you cursed?
It caught my attention for sure.
Cursed. Yeah. So, the subject was help. I'm cursed forever. Basically, what I call super ghosted a girl back in 5 years ago, back in college. And ever since then, I've just had kind of bad luck with relationships.
Okay. And when I super ghosted, give us
never heard that
some
before.
Quick but specific details on what you mean by that.
Basically, so I live in the Seattle area, and I originally from Canada. And I moved back to Canada. Didn't tell the girl. I planned it for about 6 months, and she found out about 5 days before. And after that, zero communication.
And she reached out. You just kept ignoring her.
Oh, that's hard.
It wasn't really. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks for being honest.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
That was about 2015 January.
Okay. And then since then, you've met a few women, and what's happening?
Yeah, I've had a few relationships, one semi-long one, about almost 2 years, and a couple short ones, and it's just kind of always ended up me, getting dumped and just heartbreak.
What are some of have there been consistent reasons of why they have ended the relationship? Are they varied?
I'd say the most recent one was she just didn't feel like she wanted to be in a relationship anymore.
Okay.
And that was not a super long one. It was only about 6 months. But it felt good. Like it could have gone longer, obviously. And then a couple other times, I've been ghosted as well myself. I think a lot of people have nowadays. It's kind of the norm, unfortunately. But yeah, things like that.
How many of these women were like I think there's a difference between going on some dates and meeting a girl and having it not work out and she ghosts you, not that it's okay, but how many of these like unlucky in love situations that you've had post super ghosting have been like relationships? Like the last one you dated for a while and she didn't want a relationship. Have there been more like that, or are the rest more like you've dated for a few times and then you just don't hear from someone?
I'd say that, I'd say there'd be, most of them are, super short term, but like, you see like potential in the person and like as a potential like relationship, and then it just like ends really quickly, for whatever reason. And it's been me too. Like I've cut off a few people, but it's majority the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being honest. How old are you?
27.
Okay. So the super ghosting happened like what? 24, 23?
Yeah,
that
I was
term.
young. Yeah, I was 23.
Why
in the moment, what was your mindset? Like what made you just leave without saying, hey, listen, I got this opportunity, or I'm moving back and I'm sorry, but I just want to like end it. Why did you just decide not to have that conversation?
I think it's just, probably just pure immaturity.
Okay.
And that's the reason, 100%. I was just immature. I was unhappy in the relationship. I wanted to get out of it anyways.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the way that I chose.
Yeah.
And it's not, I live with the...
That's, yeah. The women you are dating now, are they relative your age? Are they younger? Are they older? What are...
The last couple people I've dated have been all, actually just about a year older than me, but I tend to date around plus 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
Don't really try to go any lower or higher.
Nice.
Listen, all jokes aside, like you're clearly not cursed. Dating's hard these days. I think it's, listen, that sucked that you did that, and I'm not like, but it's not the end of the world. Did you ever like reach out to that person and apologize by chance?
No, I've never talked to her since.
Okay.
And it's when I moved back to the Seattle area, I ended up finding an apartment that is across the street from where she works.
Oh my gosh.
She probably doesn't know that. And I only know that because she worked there when we were dating. So
listen, listen, I wouldn't go out of your way and don't like make it a thing, but if it's not that hard for you to message her on Instagram or Facebook and real simple, and just say, hey, you may not even remember me. She definitely does. And just say, I'm sorry for butting into your life, and I apologize if this is coming out of nowhere and you probably don't even like need to hear from me. But I just want you to know that the way I handled his situation was wrong, and I've thought a lot about it, to be honest. And I just want you to know that you deserved better then, and I am sorry for that. And just leave it that way. Keep it real simple. I think, like, listen, I would be surprised if she, like, even if she's like married with 2 kids now, like, or whatever her situation is, she will probably really appreciate. And again, don't make, like, there's no, like, I was just wrong, and I've thought a lot about that, and I just want you to know that you always deserve better, and I'm sorry for treating you that way. You're not cursed now. I just think it's a good thing to, it sounds like maybe it just bugs you, like you're aware of it, right? And maybe it's a little bit of baggage that you have that you're kind of somehow holding on to. And I think if you you will feel better, and she will appreciate it, man. If you see it, I wouldn't make any suggestion about getting together. Even if you were in, I don't know if you are or not, that doesn't really matter, but make it about that moment. Right?
Yeah. I've had a lot of girlfriends, their exes reached out and apologized for treating them badly, and it really does mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
Like, they're able to let it go.
I would do that. I wouldn't even say if, maybe we can catch a drink and catch up sometime.
No, it's not about that.
It's not about that. I don't know if you are or not interested in that. Let her set that up if she would want to, but just have it be about, listen, I don't even tell you that you're back in town or anything. That doesn't really matter.
She knows.
Okay.
She knows.
How does she know?
Well,
You have mutual friends?
She is still, we have mutual friends, and, she follows all my friends on Instagram, whatever. And they post pictures of
I
everything
think
else,
she would really appreciate you reaching out to her and just saying, hey, I've thought a lot about this over the years. It's something I've really haven't been proud of, and I just want you to know, and I know you know this, that you don't deserve it, but I wanted you to know that I know that you don't deserve that. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Not that you need me to say this, but you're better than that, and I was wrong for doing that, and there was no reason why I should have done that to you, and for that, I'm sorry. And just keep it real simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I've thought about that. I think I just needed maybe some validation, just if that was a good idea.
I think
totally agree with you.
You should do it as soon as you get off this call, and do it right away.
Yeah, bite the bullet.
Yeah, there's nothing bad can come from it.
No.
And as far as your current situation and dating life, dating's tough, man. You're definitely not cursed. I do think you will feel better, and maybe there's some baggage that you have that you feel a little guilt about that.
And manifest what you're thinking about. And
in terms of relationships, I always just take things slow in relationships and dating. Maybe because, again, manifesting and projecting, maybe if anything, maybe you are the women you're dating sense that you're trying too hard to make a relationship work, and they feel that pressure. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's always helpful to just take things slow and just don't be so quick to want to put labels on things. That's interesting in dating. People want to they want to label things, and a lot of people do. Some people don't, but like what you should always do is communicate, right? Mm-hmm. And again, like you can be dating someone, and people talk about defining the relationship, and we, and last week we had Andrea on, and we talked a lot about that. As long as two people know where they are in the relationship or where they're not, you don't necessarily have to put a label on it. You can take things slow and still always check in. You just want to avoid confusion. But at the same time, early on, if you play it chill. We talked about it in the caller earlier. I think just try not to force it too much. Do you talk about your past relationships that much? And when you're in your current dating life?
I don't on my own terms. If somebody asks me,
okay.
I'm open.
That's fair.
I'm an open person. If somebody wants to talk about whatever, I'll talk about it with them. But I'm not just like, I'm not like that person.
And where are you usually meeting people?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Where are you usually meeting people? Just normal dating apps around friends?
Just around. I'm on one dating app, but most, just around, sometimes at the gym, at bars, just normal stuff.
What kind of women are you attracted to?
good question.
Where are they hanging out? What kind of men what kind of men are the women you're attracted to? Does that make sense?
Oh.
Yeah, I'd probably say guys that I think I kind of look like a lot of dudes.
Yeah, you're a handsome.
I got a beard.
Listen, you're a handsome, basic white guy. You're right. That's good self-awareness.
I'm 6'4".
Damn.
Tall dude.
I mean more
tall
like
the beard. Like
damn, Jeremy.
I have a full head of hair.
Yeah. Do you
I
go
have a
out?
good job. I work out.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is I wonder if maybe some. And I relate. Like, listen, I ask this because I can be guilty of this too. Is if we're all chasing things that we want to make us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. You're a good looking guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if the type of woman you would be attracted to and the type of woman that would be attracted to you could also maybe get opportunities. Maybe they listen. When I was younger, I dated a girl who was in the bottle service industry. She now sells software. So that doesn't mean because some girl does bottle service, she's like, there's a cliche there, of the service industry, but like also sometimes, the going out lifestyle and the young, mid-20s lifestyle is people that might be not someone who's looking to settle down. I guess what I'm asking is, are you looking for, are you attracted and looking for women who aren't looking for the same thing that you really want to? And that's maybe something you can look at when you talk about like the luck you feel like you're not having. It might just be your selection process. I know when it comes to my life, sometimes I can be guilty of that, or I just feel like, well, I'm pursuing things that I shouldn't be pursuing, and then it doesn't mean they're not great women. It doesn't mean I'm certainly attracted to them, but it's just like, come on, Nick,
Yeah.
So that might be something there in terms of what you're looking for. You're fishing in the wrong pond, so to speak. I don't know.
Sure.
So maybe kind of look at that. You're also super young still too. So like, don't feel like you need to find someone who you have to be in a relationship with. Maybe chill out a little bit and kind of go out, enjoy your friends. Always be open to relationships without like feeling like you have to have it. Don't spend a lot of time with people who just, are you good with being alone? I'm curious. Like, do you always have a girl you're hanging out with?
No, I typically throughout the week I'm pretty much by myself, and then on the weekends I try to get together with my friends.
I think that's
I play hockey once a week, so that's kind of the most socialization I get.
And you live in Seattle right now?
Yeah.
What's the dating scene like? I've heard a lot of guys that there's not a ton of
women
in Seattle.
Well,
my brother lives there.
I was lucky enough to live in San Diego for the past 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I honestly prefer the girls up here. I'm also Canadian, so like when I go up to Vancouver to visit, I like meeting girls up there too, because there's really nice.
You're a young guy. You might not feel young at 27, but you are. I mean, when you're in your like late 20s, you have this awareness that you're not in your early 20s anymore, and you are approaching 30, and that's like a scary thing, and you start like evaluating your life and what you have, or more importantly, what you haven't accomplished. So I just want to reiterate to you that you are super young, and in a few years you'll be like, God, I wish I was 27 again. It's great that it seems like you have the settling down mindset and that you're open to that. And that's great, because there's a lot of guys who might be 27 who are still like clubbing it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And, that might not lead to settling down. So you're not cursed. Reach out to your friend and apologize. I think you will feel better, and I think you'll put a better state of mind. And just be open and maybe look about what type of people you're pursuing, and in terms of do they really want what you want? Rochelle, you were going to say something?
I just think like we're joking about not being cursed and all that, but I think actually we all are in a way cursed by the super ghosts of our past. Like we all have these things that affect how we live our life now. And I think an important thing is also for you to forgive yourself and process what you did go through, and in order to fully move on.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I don't like you're not actual curse in the sense, but I do believe that we project things onto ourselves, and that's why I first asked, "Have you apologized to her?" And I think that should be step one.
And forgive yourself.
Do it right away. Yeah, it wasn't a crime you committed. It's great that you have an awareness that you hurt someone, probably, and you're not proud of yourself, and I think that's great to admit. But let her know that she doesn't deserve that. And I think you will just feel better about it. And probably whatever projecting you are in relationships, if you are, you'll probably stop doing that in that sense. And then you'll be fine. And I'm certain you will meet someone if you want to meet someone. And just evaluate who you're chasing is my, without knowing, just think about it. Give it some thought. Maybe you are chasing the right people. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that I agree with that. I think that's some pretty good advice right there.
We all like to sometimes chase the wrong people, men and women.
Yeah, I think that might be what I'm doing wrong.
And with a face like yours, it's easy to.
What a great face!
Easy to chase the right. So yeah.
Thanks for being so open, Jeremy.
Yeah. I think you're gonna be fine.
Sure.
Thanks for. I love our guy callers.
Me too.
And I think the women, truthfully, a lot of the women really appreciate. We had another caller earlier, Andrew, and then you, Jeremy. Again, the guys are just as confused as women out there. I always get a kick out of my female friends when I'm asking her, well, what do you think she thinks, or what about this? And I'm like, guys think about that, or guys are worrying and paying. Yeah, we are, and we are often just as confused about you women as you are about us. It's just maybe for different things. So I do appreciate you calling in and sharing your story. Yeah. Go ahead and DM her and apologize as soon as we get off the phone, and you'll feel better for it.
Yeah, give us an update.
The rest will all fall into place, I'm sure.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to apologize.
Yeah, he needs to move on. Oh.
I think he's moved on. I don't think this has been hanging on his head. It's just it's a little thing that's there.
Yeah.
Even when I guess is it sounds like someone broke his heart. Maybe one or two girls, but I'm guessing I get the impression.
And now he understands what his Grex and
he's relating
like.
to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's why they broke up, and I don't think he's cursed in that sense, but I think it's a good opportunity to just kind of release some of that toxic energy that he has.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's a big part of like a lot of religions, and AA is to like go back and make amends so that you can move forward.
And you don't have to be religious or an AA to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Again, like we've said this, and we talked about like when Caitlin gave me a call. You don't need closure. You can't rely on other people for closure. Right. Because sometimes you don't get it. If this girl probably, I'm guessing, when Jeremy did that to her, fucked with her. Especially if she liked him. Yeah. And it probably took her a long time to get over. Yeah. She probably had conversations with her friends trying to figure out why he did this, why he said this to me, he did that to me. And that sucks. Yeah. And I'm hoping and assuming she eventually got over it to a certain degree, but probably there's a part of her that just is there.
Just
and
needs
to hear
a little,
him say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You didn't deserve that. Yeah. There is no excuse, and I wish I was a better man in that moment for you. Then I think that will mean a lot to her. Regardless of if she could be married with kids, it doesn't sound like she is, but she will appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, this was another fabulous episode of Ask Nick, if I do say so myself.
I think it's another great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as Rochelle and I did. As always, thank you for our people who reach in. I always want to do this in the beginning of the episode, and we didn't do that. But email us at asknick@castmedia.com.
asknick@KAST.
The email address is on our Instagram at Viall Files.
Yes.
Follow us along. Again, we always appreciate you spreading the word about this show on your social. It's always very helpful. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars. We're close to 10,000 reviews and likes. By close, I mean we're like 2,000 away.
Yeah,
I feel like
I was close. I thought we had 8,000. Yeah.
I feel like, guys, listening. I know we have a lot more than we have 100.
You're so demanding of the fans.
I'm not. Listen, we can't do this without them. If they enjoy this program, we need their help. I like your validation, people.
Yes.
I like this show. I want to get to 10,000. Listen, you don't get what you don't ask for.
You gotta have goals.
Final thoughts. You don't get what you don't ask for. I thought about this today when I went and got donuts
Yeah.
for the little office here. You know how when you go and you get a coffee now, you get donuts, at least in LA, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but you pay with a credit card and then you go and sign it and they'll ask you, do you want to leave a tip?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, most of the time, I'd be honest, I don't always. If I'm like going and getting a coffee
Right.
and they pour me a coffee, I don't usually leave a tip. And sometimes it's like, what? Should I leave a tip? Like, did you do anything? No, normally, like, I guess if you're a waiter, for sure, 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
My point is, I thought to myself, once in a while, someone, including myself, will be like, hey, you know what? Today, I'm giving you an extra $1. And you don't get what you don't ask for. All I'm saying is, most people are probably saying no to this tip, but they do it because they serve 100 people a day. 10 of them give a tip, and now they got $10 more than they had before. You don't get what you don't ask for. So ask.
I'm lost in this metaphor, but I'm
What do
with
you
you.
mean?
I don't know. It's great.
Well, hey, anyways, as always, rate us 5 stars on rate us 5 stars on iTunes. We're close to 10,000 likes, and I feel like we can get there. By close, I mean we're 2,000 away.
And by likes, you mean reviews.
Well, actually, I just want you to give us 5 stars.
I know you do. Yeah.
You also can review it, but I feel like the people who review it would be the type of person who's going to review and say,
No, there's a lot of nice reviews.
I don't read them, but I do see the number. I feel like we can get to 2,000 if the people listening wanted to.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, as always, I really do appreciate in all sincerity you guys listening. We will be back on Wednesday with Tanner. It's going to be a great episode. I'm assuming we haven't recorded it yet. But a lot of great things to discuss with Tanner. We will see you on Wednesday. Have a great couple days.